Don't look for no worries when troubles come around. Don't look for no worries when troubles come around. We'll keep on turning. Gotta keep my feet on the ground. Nobody saw me crying. Nobody knows the way I feel. Nobody saw me crying. Nobody knows the way I feel. Well, I love that woman, oh yeah, bound to get me killed. Love that little girl so much. She be my low down buttercomb. Love that little girl so much. Be my low down buttercomb. I need that girl so bad. I need her like the sky needs the sun. Morning, everybody. It's Arlo here. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm adding another segment to the channel here today. This is going to be my my Sunday guitar show with Arlo, which is I'm excited to add this in with my songwriting and mixing stuff, so we can just talk about any guitar stuff that's happening this week, and I can go over some of the really nice, the cool viewer comments, some comments I've been getting here and there. So we'll go over a little bit of that. First thing was really cool. IK Multimedia had me on their Facebook page for the second time, which was really sweet for them to get me up there, get my channel out there, and show off some of their products that I've been really digging. So thanks to IK for doing that. Very, very cool. And so that was a good thing. One of the bummers, though, this week was not so good. Was the passing of Peter Green. That was the song I was playing in the beginning. World Keep On Turning was a song he used to do. It was one of my favorites of his. I really love his voice on that song. So sad to see Peter Green go. If there's any young guitar players that happen upon this video, my channel, and you don't know who Peter Green is, you should go check out the first version of Fleetwood Mac before the Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks period. And there was a middle period too with Bob Welch. So it's kind of three different incarnations or incantations of the Mac there. But the one I love the one with Stevie and Lindsey, but the Peter Green stuff's really great. Blues band. They had three guitar players in that band, himself and Danny Kerwin and was it Jeremy Spencer, I think was the name. There's three guitar players. Very good stuff. Check out Rattlesnake Shake and Oh Well, Jumping at Shadows. So lots of really good stuff there if you're a young guitar player. Peter Green's a good one to listen to get your touch down. Great touch and very interesting tone, which a lot of guitar players know about the Peter Green mod that happened with his one of his Les Pauls. So you young guys, Google the Peter Green mod and learn about that, because that's a good one to know about that. My brother actually has a guitar that has that mod in it. He got a Les Paul copy at one point, and it has those pickups in. I remember we've messed around with that guitar. You can get pretty close to that Peter Green sound, but Kirk Hammett owns the original one now. Gary Moore had it for a lot of years now. Kirk Hammett, you see him messing around with it. So sad to see Peter go. You know, he had an interesting life. Just, you know, he was premier, very revered amongst all his peers at the time, guitar players. And then he had suffered some serious mental issues for a lot of years, and left the music business entirely and was gone for the 80s, late 70s, 80s, and most of the 90s was not there. And then eventually he got some help, and he got back to playing again, and he did some cool stuff with it's called Peter Green and Splinter Group. So check out Peter Green and Splinter Group with Nigel Watson guitar. That's some good stuff. I pull the Splinter Group. I still have a CD. I have CDs still, but I pull that one out. It's a good one to check out. So check out Splinter Group, Peter Green. You know, I did a dive back into the old Mac stuff with him, and was listening to some this week, and it reminded me of one time, a story from me, a memory I have. I used to play this club in State College, Pennsylvania, called Zeno's. Great place if you're ever State College, PA. It's where Penn State University is, and you go down to this steps into Zeno's, like a basement type bar in there. Very awesome place, awesome vibe, amazing selection of beers, and you go in there, and there'll be a guy behind the bar some nights he got a shaved head and he'll have glasses on. Very sweet guy. His name is Dave Staub. So when you go in there, you say, "Hey Dave, Arlo sent me here," and he'll take good care of you. And he'd take good care of you anyways. He's just a great person. And Dave let me and my brother, after I left my other band, Jack's Farm, we played in there some too, but he let me and my brother play there for about a year or more. We played every Thursday night there, and we had a lot of fun doing that. But one night, we were playing, and we were doing our usual Hendrix and Cream and our Robin Trower and all that kind of good stuff. And both of us were on guitars, and we had a bass player and a drummer. And in walked in one of the local music store owners, and he owned Rainbow Music, and I can't remember his name at the time now. But he walked in. We used to go to his store all the time. He had a great shop. I don't think it's there anymore though, but we walk in, and he walked in, sat down, and then another guy walked in and sat down with him, and he was one of our most revered guitar players in State College. His name was Mark Ross, and he had a really cool band, Queen Bee and the Blue Hornet Band, and they had a lot of great success. Blues band, very good, a great singer. The whole band was super tight, and Mark played guitar, and that was very good. And so he came in, and they were sitting there, the guitar shop owner and Mark, and we're playing tunes. And I get nervous when I know there's like other players in there. I mean, other guitar players might relate to this, but you just want to do good. And so we got done playing, and Justin was talking to the guitar store owner, because Justin used to buy amps in there. I don't know if he bought any guitars, but I know he bought an amp or two in there, bought stuff. But so they were talking, and then Mark come up and was like, "Hey, really enjoyed the set there." I was like, "Oh, that's good." And I was like, "Oh, good." He was decent enough where he wasn't just like walking out. And he's like, "No, it was great." And that Fleetwood Mac song you played, that was "Need Your Love So Bad," man, you sang that really good. That was really great. And I'll tell you, I felt like phenomenal after that. It was just really cool to have another guitar player that you admire, and is a very good player, and you know, one of your peers above you saying, "Hey, you're doing all right, Arlo. It sounded good, and you sang it good," which I always have trouble singing and liking my voice. But so that was a cool memory that popped up for me, just listening to the Mac here this week. So I hope Peter and Mark, Mark passed away this past fall. I saw very sad, 'cause he was not an old fella. He was older than me, but still had some more guitar years, I was thinking, but sad to see him go. But I'm sure him and Peter are playing some guitar here somewhere. I hope so. But so that was kind of a bummer. I did get some nice pickup though this week. Some stuff that made me real happy. Just some of the viewer comments I got. So I'm going to share them with you now. One of them was really cool. A buddy of mine from college got a hold of me, and we're friends on the Book of Faces on there. Like we see each other's family stuff. We like things from time to time, whatever each of us has going on. And his name is Mike Henshaw. So hey Mike, if you're watching, you've been leaving me some real nice stuff on my YouTube channel. That I'm doing outstanding work and I'm doing well. So I appreciate you doing that, Mike. That's really nice of you to keep your old buddy Arlo fired up. We used to have a lot of fun, remember, Mike? We used to have a good time in college. Good stuff. But he sent me a picture too. He bought a new guitar amp and a guitar, and he got one of those Boss, it's the Waza amp, and he got a really nice Ibanez. It looks sweet. And he sent me a little notes like, after all these years, something. I'm gonna tame this beast. We're gonna play this guitar and learn this. And I was like, well, that's cool. Like, I'm hoping I drove you over the edge a little bit with my channel, and that made me feel really good that he's getting into guitar. Because I'll tell you, if you need something to do, a hobby, there's nothing better than guitars. I don't know where I'd be without all my music and stuff. It's just been great for me over the years. So nice seeing you, Mike. I hope you stick around and keep me rolling. Another one that was cool was there was Synthient Sounds. This guy does a channel. He's got a nice channel with a lot of synth type stuff and Moog. And he did a Satriani video too, and we were kind of talking back and forth just about the videos there. And I've gotten to watch a couple of his. I watched a really good one the other night. He was going over this thing. It's from Arturia is the brand. It's called the Micro Freak. It's this smaller synth, but he had a 40-minute video, and the sounds he was going through in there were just incredible. From what he was doing, I couldn't wrap my head around how much stuff he was getting out of this thing. So it was really cool. So we've been talking, and I think that's really, I'm enjoying that part of this YouTube experience for me is interacting with other musicians. Definitely other musicians that it's just not all guitar players. Because I'd kind of like to get some kind of synth thing happening in here that I can mess with. So he was saying, be careful, because it's, guitars are expensive. The synths it's another thing to drop your cash on. So, but it sounded really good. So check out his channel. I'll try to put a link down below if I can. Synthient Sounds. You can probably find it in my subscribe list too. I think you can see what I subscribe to, and he's in there. But that's some good stuff to check out. And then my last comment that I got that I really thought was great was this fella Roy Baxter, and I saw on I've been putting some things on different Facebook groups too, just dropping my videos in there for people to watch, and I dropped in the T-Rax one, my mixing of the Satriani song, and he dropped a comment saying, hey, I was just watching your other Satriani video when I got the notification for this one. How about that? And I was like, that's great. You're watching one of my videos and got a notification for another one. And I hope you're digging them, Roy. I hope you think you're getting something out of them. So thought that was very cool. Good man, Roy Baxter. Keeping Arlo in good spirits. So thank you, Roy. So good things with the viewer comments there so far, and I just keep them coming. And definitely, if there's, like I say, any young guitar players and they get questions on what I'm doing, I definitely would like to share it with you. So thank you. So keep the comments coming. I did finish up that Arc 3 video, so that's gonna be coming out here this week. I just still got to add a couple. Well, I didn't finish. I got a couple little things to add it. But I did the room correction with this small little home studio here. And if anybody's got, monitors or mixing at home and they're set up in a corner like I am and not the optimal space, the room correction software was really eye-opening. And I'll go over that. We'll look at the EQ of it, and you'll see what was not so good there and what it's going to fix. So that'll be coming out this week. So then I was thinking about what am I working on next for you guys, like what songs or what do we mix in. And I was going to go into some other songs that I was real stoked on. And then this week I saw AC/DC is doing their, it's the 40th anniversary of Back in Black. And I thought, oh, I got that one song I wrote a couple months ago that turned into like an AC/DC tribute to them, which was, I was writing something that was kind of heavy, and then as I wrote the lyrics, Angus and Malcolm found their way into the song. They were definitely an influence on me, kind of more once I get to college. And I have a story with that. You grow up and you go through certain periods. Like I had a Who period, I had a Hendrix period, a Cream and Ombre. Like you kind of get into where you're just always locked into one band for a while. At least that's how it worked for me. And where I would just try to absorb as much as I could from each of those bands. And I remember when I got to the AC/DC period, I was playing a show in college with my college band, Kind of Mine, and we used to play a lot of clubs around this one college in Williamsport, PA, around Lycoming College. And one time we were playing, it was at the Sub Shop, I think, or Six Pack Shop. It was really small. It was like middle of the day. I think we were playing like a 5 o'clock show, and then we were playing a later show at maybe the Pub. There was another place called the Pub down the road. So I think it was a 2-show day or something, because it was middle of the day. But we had a lot of people. All of our friends came, which was fun. And so we're playing, and we were doing Allman Brothers and Grateful Dead, and we had a couple originals, and we do some Santana. So we ended with like Black Magic. I remember we ended with a Santana song. It was either Black Magic Woman or Evil Ways, maybe. And we get done, and we're talking to people, and this kid comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, that was really great. You sound really good." I was like, "Oh, thanks." And he's like, yeah, you sound just like Angus Young. Love that." I'm like, Angus Young? Man, like, you just played a Santana song. Like, that shouldn't sound like Angus Young. So then I'm like, well, am I just playing too heavy? Is my tone like too like aggressive, or what is the deal here? So I was like, well, I've been listening to Santana. I was like, I don't have any AC/DC CDs. It's AC/DC's had always been back in my head, like all the You Shook Me All Night Long. I think that's the song that was kind of in my head in the background. So I went and got Back in Black. And I remember this because I was living alone for the weekend, or for the summer, at this really crummy house up in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, near where I was going to school at. And during the school year, I'd have 5 or 6 roommates, but then I didn't have any. So I got the CD. I'm sitting on the front porch by myself, probably drinking many beers, and I put it on, and from the bell comes on, and then it jumps into Hell's Bells, and then just every song through there is just a heart attack. And the sound that Mutt Lange got, the producer, got with those guys, just phenomenal. And the tone that Angus gets with they talk about he plugged straight in the amp, but they were doing that, and I guess they weren't quite getting the sound. And they're like, well, what's different, Angus, you're not getting the sound. He's like, well, usually I have my wireless. I'm playing through my wireless and then to the amp. And they were like, oh, well, and I guess he had a certain wireless. And then it gave it a certain sound, and then that was like, oh, there's the sound. And now they actually there's this thing, it's Solo Dallas. They make these boxes now, Solo Dallas. Check that out. It gets you kind of close to that type of Angus Young sound. You got to have a big Marshall one. And SG helps, and Angus's fingers. But yeah, so AC/DC, that Back in Black album, great one. And so I'm going to take this song that I wrote 2 months ago. There's a couple things we can do to fix it, and I didn't do a ton of mixing with it. So I think we're going to just try to complete that song, and I'll show you what I'm doing with that. and then we'll listen to it, and then I'd love to see what everybody thinks of my AC/DC tribute. We're gonna make that a tribute for the Back in Black. So fun stuff happening. So glad you guys stopped by here this Sunday morning, and you know, my first Sunday guitar show with Arlo. And we'll see what else we talk about. We're gonna try to do this every Sunday. So hit the subscribe, the little bell, and you know, leave me some comments. And I hope you get to play some guitar today. I'm gonna play a little bit before I gotta get into work. So.